This might be one of the very rare moments when you look on X on Twitter, you can see pretty much polarized views on whether the BTC price will go up or down. In my opinion, I think you have literally maybe 15 days before we have another strong move up, and in this video I want to address why I think this is going to happen. My name is Željko, welcome to CryptoGrid channel, and let's immediately hop on charts. So this is a Bitcoin chart where the yellow line represents M2 money supply with 108 days offset, and you probably saw this chart multiple times. Some people say it's completely not relevant, some people are pretty much betting on it. Like when you look the correlation of two lines being above 80%, I think obviously there must be something in it. And if you see during the different time frames, like you can pretty much see how one line is completely above another one, and this shows that the level of correlation is pretty high. Somebody even calculated to 80%, so pretty much after the 15th June, we have this move up, and in my opinion, this is the reason why you should actually buy now, since the M2 money supply will only be going up from this point. And I'm actually someone who is often more bearish than bullish and often waiting for a larger pullback to buy and then missing out on these opportunities. But we can pretty much see, even for example today, that the buying pressure is relatively high. I even thought we got some pullback. This pullback affected more altcoins than it actually affected BTC. And for example, when you go and actually check the Bitcoin dominant chart, you can see that this is going to extreme levels. Like Bitcoin dominance is 65%. If we exclude stable coins, it's almost 70%. And if you look, for example, during the previous bull market, this is the moment when the Bitcoin dominance started actually going down, which means that we have a lot of upside ahead of us if something like this repeats. Again, many people are debating whether we're gonna have a 4-year cycle or this one will be longer. In my opinion, I think that we entered into the territory where we're gonna have way more of a sideways movement than we had in the past, with much smaller pullbacks. I don't think that we're ever gonna see 80+% pullback as we saw in the past, unless something super awkward happens where we have a very strong parabolic move to the up, and then we might see a large pullback, but I doubt that something like that will happen. Another thing that I always like to look for is funding rates, and as you can see, we are currently in a period with a consistent negative funding rates, which means that there is consistently a lot of people that are shorting the market. One of these famous guys just got liquidated for shorting for some large amount of money, and I think this is the trend that is going to continue. As you can see, the periods when we had this negative is like here, and like we are only in the upwards trajectory since then, and I think this is something that is going to happen. And even though we are in Web3 gaming, I think markets are something that we need to be aware of, and like the correlation of BTC price with altcoins and everything related, because you can't predict even the price of altcoins, especially Web3 gaming coins, if you're not looking at these other things, especially in the markets where we saw like 10 games shutting down in the last week or so. One more thing that I like to look is the stable coins market cap, and I like to see it as consistently increasing. It doesn't matter like what's the stablecoins market share or stablecoins dominance. The only thing that you should actually care is whether like there is more stablecoins in the market, because in order for people to buy altcoins, they need to have more stables. Yeah, the buying pressure is coming from BTC, Ethereum, Solana as well, obviously the underlying assets of different chains, but majority of it is still coming from the stablecoins. The only thing that slightly worries me is CBBI index. It's actually multiple on-chain indicators aggregated, and usually when this goes to 100, it pretty much meant that is the top of that market cycle, and sometimes when we create a lower high, as in this scenario, we saw a sharp pullback afterwards. As I said, I expect this line at one point to circle more around 50 than it is actually going to 100, or that is going to zero. I doubt that we will ever see a zero. But once we see this large pullback, I think this will be like very, very bad for the altcoin market that is already pretty fragmented. When it comes to the Web3 markets, one of the projects I actually shown on my channel, I even played some tournaments, actually really like the game, but I noticed that nothing is happening in the game, and this is the reason why I wasn't even posting. This is something that I wasn't sure about, but I actually reached to Zach XBT about their game. I checked on-chain, some wallets that were connected, that were sending funds from one to another, then selling all their funds on the AI agent that it made. And for me, it's already a big red flag when you see gaming projects pivoting from one chain to another. It's okay if a project pivots on the chain dies like Treasure did, and then people pivot to, let's say, Ronin from Treasure or something like that. But when they are hopping, the first thing that they did, they switched from Matic, Polygon to the base network, then they released AI agent, then they released the platform for AI agents. And I think they had very loyal and dedicated players, and they pretty much threw all that away, wrecked the project in the end. And yeah, I can understand that some gaming projects will fail. I failed in a lot of things in my life personally, so it's the thing that is happening. But this is, in my opinion, obvious shrug. I also wrote like how they literally like few days until the project died, they were pretty much posting on Discord for people to stake their coins. They raised 10.5 million, which is insane amount of money. They, besides that, they sold a lot of NFTs. They actually never provided any utility for any of these NFTs. Their founder just changed the company that he's a CEO of. And the reason why I'm showing you all of this is that you can see a lot of these things up front. You can see their Discord semi-dead. You can see that the community is dissatisfied. You can see them pivoting from one thing to another. I actually sold all my coins way earlier, but I still keep the NFTs, which are pretty much useless today. But yeah, in many of my videos I was speaking about when you're analyzing gaming projects that you need to play the game, to see how the game evolves, and a lot of things that are related to that in order to decide whether it's good or bad investment. Because you can see a lot of gaming creators that are actually not even playing the game. They just got paid to do advertisement. They do that advertisement. They often say that they're bullish. And this is pretty much where story ends. They never come back to that. So this is just one of the projects. I'm really sad for this one because I actually like the game. I dislike the team because I realized that there is something shady in the past, because each time when they have tournaments, they never do regular calls. They always do stages, even though the community is not big. So nobody was able to speak besides 2-3 of them. And when I won one of the tournaments and when I managed to get to a stage, I asked about the game upgrades, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. I even wrote them pretty much the whole patch notes on how to improve the stuff. Everything was for free. I wasn't paid to do any of these things. It was just like my will to contribute because I love the game actually. So as I said, 15 days left to buy BTC in my opinion, or the coins that you believe into. And yeah, I understand that macroeconomic situation is not the best, that you can actually feel the crisis when it comes to the work and many other things, but I still think that this bull market is not over yet. So I hope that you liked the video. I actually started a Web3 gaming guild. I will post the link in the description below. So if you're interested in Web3 gaming and you're looking to play with some people, maybe even get some earning opportunities, feel free to join. Thank you for watching this video and staying until the end. Stay strong and healthy. Bye.